peace that I've been praying for, and then here I am waking up laughing from my sleep. And I just knew at that point that that was Jesus. Like, Jesus heard me. Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. It is Michelle here. If you are new here, hey, welcome. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button and join this family here. Welcome to the third episode of BTT, Bible Talk Time, where Bible meets practical living. You guys, I don't even know how many times I can say y'all are amazing. I just want to go ahead and share some Instagram messages that I received from you guys. I got off of Instagram for about 2.5 months because I needed to reset. I needed to get my mind right, spend more time with God and spend less time, being distracted by things. So I actually posted, and the comments I received, you guys, I'm just still in shock. I'm just going to share a couple of the messages you guys sent me. Good night, woman of God. God directed me to your vlogs, and I just want to say a special thank you to you. I am not a nurse. God directed me to thank you again for being an inspiration and continue doing your vlogs. And, other messages like this encourage me so much. Another person was asking me what kind of Bible I use, and I'm just floored by what you guys are seeing in me today, because exactly 3 years ago, this was not my story. For anybody who feels as though that they don't see a light at the end of the tunnel, I hope that today's Bible Talk Time encourages you. But before we get into today's story about how God truly physically comforts us in our times of need, how he comes through for us, and how he's able to really show himself strong in our lives, I want to read today's Bible verse. So today's Bible verse is coming from 2 Timothy 1 verses 7, and I'm going to be reading the New King James Version, and it reads, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." And of a sound mind. To anyone struggling with battles in your mind, this Bible Talk Time is for you, okay? God is just so amazing. Once again, I never thought that my channel would take this route. So I really started YouTube with the intention of being a nurse, a nursing channel. I started off really encouraging people with my career as a nurse, just to show young women like me who look like me that if I'm able to make it in this career, so can they. That was my initial intent with my channel. But as time progressed, I started sharing more of my personal life with you guys as my day-to-day lifestyle type videos. And of course, I couldn't hide the fact that, I love God and I love Jesus. So of course, it infused itself into my videos, and a vlog led to the other, and then Bible Talk Time started, and now we are here with me having a segment called BTT. So yeah, just the way things have progressed, I'm just amazed at what God has done. And I say this because literally 3 years ago, you guys, I was in a really, really dark place. I would not call myself depressed because I was still very functional. I would still go to work. I was still involved in church. I would still see my friends. So I was a very functional individual. But deep down inside, I was going through so much, you guys. And if you can identify with these emotions, then let me tell you that God is real. This experience really exposed me to somewhat of the supernatural aspect of experiencing God. But in this time, guys, in this time frame, I was experiencing a lot of fear. My God, I was experiencing a lot of anxiety. I was experiencing a lot of torment. I would use the word torment because I felt like my past actions were literally tormenting me, to the point in where I would go to sleep and I would literally cry myself to sleep every single night because of because of what I had done. And I was just really broken. I was in a space in where I was really, really broken. The enemy was really, having a field day with my mind during that time, in where I was just hurting so much. I was feeding into that fear. I was feeding into the fear of just being scared for my future, scared of my life, thinking that I had messed up too much. that, I have given the enemy a way into really doing what he pleased with my life because of my actions. So I was just in a really, 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 really dark place. And around this time, I had recently rededicated my life to God. So I was still getting to know God. If you guys have watched my other vlogs, I'm going to just go into backstory of how I really rededicated my life to God and how I really started following him, truly. So I went to Ghana for year of return, December 2019. I was there for about a month. I was living my best life, enjoying this life. When I tell you enjoyment, I was enjoying. I was doing things that, I never thought of done, and I experienced quite a lot of things. So I left that trip, you guys, coming back to America, feeling so broken because a couple of days before I left Ghana, I had experienced something that truly exposed this world to me, to see it for what it truly is, to really see that there is indeed darkness in this world, and if there's darkness, then there sure must be light. So I left Ghana feeling really scared and fearful for my life. So the moment I got back from Ghana, the day I landed, actually, I reached out to one of my friends who I knew went to church, who was a believer, who was really on fire for God, let me say, and she enjoyed her church. And she had invited me in the past to go to church with her, but I think I went once, but I wasn't consistent in going. So I knew she liked her church and I had gone once. So I was like, okay, let me reach out to her and see if I can go to church with her on Sunday. I believe I had gone back from Ghana on either a Tuesday or a Wednesday. So I texted her that same day because I just had that feeling that I had to be in the presence of God. I was literally crippled with fear and just dread of my future, you guys. I needed to rush into the presence of God. So I reached out to my friend and I was like, hey, can I come to church with you on Sunday? And then she actually told me about a fast the church was doing. So at the beginning of every year, the church does a fast, in where we fast for a couple of days, just seeking the Lord, and it's called the Week of the Altar. And she told me about it, and she told me that they were actually meeting that same day to church so that they can pray and break their fast. So as soon as she told me the church was open, I was so eager. I was like, oh my gosh, I want to come. Can I come with you? And she was like, yeah, you can come. So she sent me the address again, and I actually met her at the church. So when I got to church, they were praying. There were no chairs. People were just standing, and they were just praying to close their fast. So I joined in the prayers. The pastor would give prayer topics and people would pray, and I was just praying. I was just joining them. And so towards the end of the service, it was like an hour long prayer, like an hour 30 minutes long prayer session. So towards the end, it was over. I felt a little better, just being in the presence of God. I felt a little better. So I was talking to my friend, and then the pastor walks over to me, and this is when people are starting to leave. And he walks over to me, and then he speaks a word of knowledge over the exact things I was going through, you guys. So he speaks this word of knowledge over me, and then I'm like, how does this man know what I'm going through? How does he know that? And so the moment he spoke the word of knowledge, he told me that, this and this and that, and that I should keep coming, and I should keep coming. So I should keep coming. So I continued with the fasting. I continued praying, and I became a member of that church, and the rest was history. So that was in January 2020. So come February, I'm still really going through it. Around this time, 3 years ago, guys, like I said, I was just having a lot of fear, and I was just really going through it, to the point in where I would go to sleep every night just crying myself to sleep, because I was just crippled with anxiety for my future, crippled with anxiety of just life, and I was just really fearful. I was really, really fearful. So as a new believer, I'm going to sleep crying, and it was the point in where I was taking Benadryl every single night to help me sleep. I was not going to sleep. I was not falling asleep naturally. I would need the help of Benadryl or melatonin to help me sleep. So one night I decided that I didn't want to do that anymore. And what would happen is that even though I would take the Benadryl, even though I would take the melatonin, I would fall asleep, but then I would wake up in the middle of the night unable to go back to sleep. So I was having a lot of sleep disturbances during that time, so one night I decided that enough was enough. I need to pray to God about this. So I had the Benadryl pill there, and I was like, God, I don't want to take the Benadryl tonight. Help me fall asleep. Help me fall asleep. And I was earnestly praying and just asking God to help me have a good night's sleep. I remember this because I also wrote it in my journal. I was like, God, I just want to have a good night's sleep. I want to sleep through the night. And I prayed, and I refused to take the Benadryl, so I didn't take the Benadryl that night. And, slowly by surely, I fell asleep. And this is like when I truly, really experienced Jesus. I don't want to cry, you guys. Okay, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Okay. Enough with the dramatics. Okay, we're back. But yeah, so that night I prayed and I told God that I'm trusting him to help me fall asleep and to stay asleep. And quick background, so I love The Office. The Office is a show that makes me so happy. Like, I would watch The Office and just laugh so hard, right? Like, I love The Office. The Office is just my show. So yeah, just a quick background. It'll tie in a second. So I went to sleep that night, you guys, and I had a dream. And in that dream, it was like a skit. It was like a skit of The Office, right? And the characters in The Office were just doing something so hilarious that I started to laugh. Like, it was as if I'm watching The Office in the dream. I'm watching the show, but I was like, it's like I'm on set with them. Watching them act things out. And I started laughing so hard, literally laughing so hard that I woke up laughing. Like, I'm gonna reenact it for you guys. This is me sleeping, right? And I wake up like laughing. I wake up laughing that night. And prior to that, I was going to sleep crying. I was going to sleep crying. And that night, without the need of Benadryl, first of all, I sleep throughout the night, okay, which has not happened since I had gone back from my trip from Ghana and all of that. And the night I prayed to God to help me fall asleep, I wake up laughing, and I have never done that in my life. And the moment I woke up laughing, I just felt this presence of peace. I just felt this presence of just peace, you guys. Peace that I've been praying for. And then here I am waking up laughing from my sleep. And I just knew at that point that was Jesus. Like, Jesus heard me. I just knew that was him. You guys, I'm so dramatic. I'm just not trying to get my lashes. I'm trying to not ruin my lashes. But, okay. I just knew that it was Jesus, you guys. Like, just that overwhelming peace that I felt, and just, God is just so amazing. He doesn't just respond to us, guys. He responds in a way that resonates with you. He responds in a way that only you would know that it was him. To somebody else, The Office is not a significant show, but he knew that I liked that show. He knew that was a show that made me laugh, and for me to laugh, wake up laughing, which is the opposite of what I have been doing, I was like, God, Jesus, thank you. I woke up feeling so much peace and just more in love with God for his mercy and for just really listening to my prayer. I was just amazed. I was just amazed. And I would say that was like one of my most significant encounters with Jesus that I can recall. And the great thing about God is he's not just a God that people talk about. He is tangible. Let me say, that was my first tangible experience with God. So this goes to show, if you are feeling down, if you are feeling anxious, if you're feeling depressed or sad, not to say that, chemically I had an imbalance. My sadness was derived from things that had happened. So of course I believe that there's a place for medicine, but there's also a place in where Jesus and God can bring joy back into your life. But I would say that these are the three main things that I've noticed with Jesus and God, even from reading through the Bible. He is a God who appeases to our emotional needs. He's a God who appeases to our physical needs. And he's a God who appeases to our spiritual needs. He has everything we need. God has everything I need. And I'm really realizing that even more now this year, guys, not even back then when it happened in 2020. I'm realizing it more this year. Like I said, this year I really want to believe him for real. I really want to walk this thing out for real. Like, I want to do this for real. But that's to say that, like, with my story that I've shared, the emotional aspect of it, just knowing that he satisfied my need, like my heart was at peace, my mind was at peace. He satisfied my need emotionally. And with the physical, I was able to sleep. I was able to get a good night's sleep after many, many days and weeks, and I'll say a month at that point, of not being able to sleep throughout the night without the need of assistance from Benadryl or melatonin. And the fact that he physically manifested through me laughing, I have never gone to sleep, or up till this day, I have never experienced such a thing before. He's able to meet our physical needs as well. And then the spiritual aspect, me experiencing that really increased my faith in him. It really allowed me to continue pursuing him. And not to say that, things didn't happen later on that year that would cause me to also like even doubt a little bit. My journey with God has not been perfect at all. It has not been perfect, but I know for a fact that it has been real. It has been real, and which is why I want to share this with you guys, and to anybody who identifies with how I was feeling in 2020 and seeing my life. I just hope that this encourages you to know that God is indeed real, that Jesus is indeed there for you when in your time of need. He is truly, the Holy Spirit is truly a comforter here for us. And there has been other times in where I'm just crying and just feeling really down and sad, and when I would go into God's presence and I pray, I would wake up feeling so much better. In two instances that I can recall, when I truly feel like I have surrendered the burdens of this life onto God, I wake up feeling at peace. I wake up feeling that I have said it to him and he's heard me. So therefore, I have sound mind. And which references back to the Bible scripture we read, in where it says that God has not given us a spirit of fear. If you're having any unhealthy fears, you guys, surrender it to God. Surrender it to him, because he is able to eradicate those fears for you. The more you seek him, the more you spend time with him, the more earnest your prayers become, the more he's going to answer you. So I really hope that if you are feeling any ounce of sadness, any ounce of fear, anxiety, know that God hears prayers. And if he was able to come through the way he did for me, and where I was able to experience him in that sense, then he is more than able to appear to you. He is more than able to show himself true to you. He is real. He is real. He is very tangible. He's not as far removed as we make him seem to be. I just really hope that this Bible Talk time, guys, encourages you to continue to pursue God and continue to submit your burdens to him, because he cares for you and he loves you. And once again, if you're feeling fearful, know that that spirit is not of God, because he is not giving you that spirit, the Bible says, but he's giving you a spirit of peace, of love, and of sound mind. I pray that your heart receives love, sound mind, and peace. But yes, guys, thank you so much for watching this BTT. I just cannot wait to share more. Once again, thank you for always encouraging me to continue going. Yeah, this is a very emotional one. But yeah, I love doing this. I'm going to continue with, of course, inspiration by God. And of course, if you guys have any suggestions, please go ahead and leave the comments below. And if you have any encouraging stories of you experiencing the tangible presence of God, please don't forget to share in the comments. Let us encourage one another in this walk, because we sure know it's not easy, okay? It is not easy peasy. It is not a walk in the park. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Bye.